You're listening to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast.
Welcome to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast. And now your host, Meliss Jakubovic.
Hey, everybody. Today we're talking about common negative mindsets. And the reason why this is so important is because you need to understand and recognize them so you can run away from them and make sure that you are not stuck here, because believe me, you are not going to grow in a positive direction if you are stuck with a negative mindset. The first one is Imposter Syndrome. You ever know you're the best, but you're also not totally sure that you're the best? That's the imposter syndrome talking. Imposter syndrome is your inability to believe that you're deserving of success and that your success is a result of your effort and ability. And that pervasive feeling of, I don't deserve to be here, can undermine your success and your ability to market your services. And this does creep up on us often, but what happens is it stops you from growing. So just realize that everyone has this, everyone feels this way at one point or another, and you just have to keep pushing through. You are so much further along than you think that you are. And if you've been in business 2 years or 4 years or even just a couple of months, you're further along than you were when you started, or 2 years ago, or whatever time frame where you can look back and say, wow, I really have grown leaps and bounds since then. And so when you're comparing yourselves to others, or you're in groups with people from your industry who have been doing this longer than you, you might feel like you are an imposter. But if you are around people who have not done it as long as you, or your clients who really don't know how to accomplish what you can provide them, then this is what you need to focus on. That there are different levels that everyone is on. And okay, you might not be as far along as Oprah Winfrey, but you're probably further along than someone who's just starting out. So don't focus on that, oh, I have so far to go before I can call myself an expert. And instead, I want you to focus on, wow, I have grown so much since I started, and I can help so many people. The other one is scarcity mindset. Freelancers and solopreneurs in particular suffer from this one. The scarcity mindset is the belief that there's a finite amount of money or success or clients, and that you have to grab as much of it as you can. And this mindset is super limiting for growth because it often leads to taking on work and clients that don't align with your values or your goals or even your budget. And so if you have this scarcity mindset and then you hop on a sales call, for example, and let's say you're trying to sell a $5,000 package and you have no money in your bank account, you're going to want to close that deal because you really need that $5,000 when that client might not be the best fit for you. You might not be able to provide the results for them that you claim that you can. Or, maybe they're assholes and you don't want to work with them because you're going to be bumping heads the whole time. And you take on that client because you need the money so much, and then you have to deal with headaches and confusion and people telling you one thing and doubting your expertise and really not valuing your power. Or what else can happen when you come to a sales call with scarcity mindset is people feel that. They feel that energy and then they don't want to close. You won't close that sale, that call. You won't be able to seal the deal and say, I can help you, because you aren't coming from a place of abundance and you aren't coming from a place of wanting to help and being able to provide a solution. Instead, you're coming up from a place of pressure and constricted feeling of scarcity, of not having enough, of lack. And they can feel that energy. And so you might come off being sleazy. You might say something like, but you really need to do this now. Or that urgency that isn't pure, where you can come on a sales call and be like, take it or leave it. This is what I offer. This is the solution that I provide. These are the results that I create. If I'm a good fit, let's go. If not, that's totally fine. Move on. So you need to understand that they need you more than you need them. And coming with a scarcity mindset really limits your success. The next one is the perfectionist mindset. I am guilty of this. Yes, I am. If you haven't published a blog post for 2 months because you're still tweaking the last one, then this should sound familiar. Perfectionists hold themselves back from success because they aren't willing to make the mistakes. And your growth, if this is your mindset, is limited because you rarely take the action. So I'm a perfectionist at nature. I have relatives with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and I want everything to be perfect all the time. I want everything to be done a certain way. I want sheets to be folded perfectly. I want silverware to be perfectly straight around the plate at the table setting. I want people to say things a certain way. And it's a little bit about control and wanting that perfectionism, or you design an image and you're like, oh, let's move this down just 2 centimeters, or let's just move this over a smudge, or let's just cut this here, or let's redo it. And before you know it, you're through 15 revisions. You spent tons of money with the designer, or you've spent tons of time on your own. You haven't posted what needed to happen. Listen, folks, coming from one perfectionist to another, done is better than perfect. We are not hosting a meal for the queen. Now, if you are, fine. Maybe you want that to be perfect. But if you run an online business, done is better than perfect. Get those ideas out there. That content is valuable. Reading content that you put out there, even with a little bit of spelling error or grammatical error, is okay because it makes you a real person. And the meat and potatoes of that content is out there and it's coming from you. People aren't going to say, oh my gosh, she left a comma off this sentence. I will not work with her. What they're going to say is, wow, what amazing content is here. So get it done and get it out. A great example is in my Social Marketing Academy. When I first starting out, you can see the first course is a lower quality course than the later courses because I'm learning from my mistakes as I go. And as you put things out, it's done. Once it's done, don't go back. Put it out and it's done, and then move on to something else. And as you grow, your content will grow. Your content will become better, or the image and the branding might become stronger, and it's a growing process. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you will be waiting forever, and you're missing out on all these lives that you can touch and help, and all these customers that can come to you, and all these people that can see your content, and you can become so much more visible when you remember done is better than perfect. And the last one is business FOMO. FOMO, fear of missing out. Do you obsessively check on the competition? Are you stretching yourself so thin to try to be on every single platform? Are you copycatting all the captions that you see? If you've said yes to any of these questions, then you have a bad case of FOMO. This limiting mindset makes you more obsessed with playing competitor catch-up than being 100% authentic. You need to focus on your goals. You need to focus on your clients. And you need to make sure that your marketing is in alignment with you, not with another influencer in your industry or with the girl next door that everyone's talking about. You need to do you. You need to be authentically you. Now, I'm not saying don't follow influencers and get ideas from them, because that's a good starting point. But you should not be obsessed with what they're doing, and you should not be trying to copy everything that they have going on. What works for them may not work for you. There are huge influencers who are doing certain things that work really well for them and don't work for the general public because they've been doing it for 4 years, 6 years, 10 years. They have a following of 100,000 people. So they are going to have a different experience because they've already been warming up their audience for however many years, or they're already well known, so much so that you barely have to say anything and everyone's going to be following them. So the way things are going to convert, the way people are going to engage with their content is going to be completely different from someone who's just starting out trying to build their audience for the first time. So when you're trying to mimic what other people are doing, you are wasting your time. Instead, I want you to focus on what you can do, how you can be unique, what you need to do now that's important, and what you don't need to do until you're further along the process. And that is going to be how you avoid this fear of missing out. What I encourage you to do is clear out your email boxes from, let's say you have subscribed to 10 different influencers and they're all over your newsfeed and you're obsessed with all of their ads and you read everything and you watch everything. And basically, you're not doing anything for yourself and you're not doing any business, growing your business on your own because you're too busy spending your time watching everybody else's business grow. So I want you to shut out that noise. If you loved this episode, head over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review so we can reach more people and share our content with those that can benefit most. And before you go, I want to invite you to join my Social Marketing Academy, where you can master the skills you need to manage and scale your own business or your clients' businesses. This membership will give you all the tools you need to be successful online and teach you how to engage properly with your ideal audience. New courses are constantly being added to the Academy, and you can work through them at your own pace. Check it out now at socialmarketingacademy.org.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast at www.marketingtipswithmeliss.com.